Good morning, Stephanie. How are you today?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad? Okay, before we get into anything, let's just go over our counts and contracts and the different things that we do here at the practice and your confidentiality, your guarantees, services, all that sort of stuff. So, with our confidentiality, you will be everything will be highly confidential. Um, Only under the following circumstances that it will need to be broken, and that's if you're at risk of yourself or someone else. Records have been requested by the court of law or by a third party or agency, but all of this will have your written consent and will be discussed with you before any breach. These are the approaches that we use here at this facility, our sessions and cancellations when we're available. Our payments, which you come through your GP, so that's all good. You're on a plan with us. Record keeping, if you need any of your notes or anything like that, they are kept on hand for you at any point in time. Your referrals, there will be consent paperwork done for anything like that with your sign of consent, with your telephone or email contacts if you need us, but it is best to be previously arranged before happening. Our ending of counselling will be best 48 hours notice would be appreciated. Otherwise, it is an agreement between yourself and I, and if there are any other changes, we can discuss that. Your service guarantee of a professional service, free from a sexual harassment environment, free to be shown respect in all areas, disability, mental, cultural, anything like that needs to be provided to you, we can arrange that as well if that's okay by you. Now, if you understand and agree to all those terms, just sign at the bottom there. So, you come in, I see, on a referral from your GP. Now, what's going on there? What seems to be the go with you?
Well, I suppose he feels that he wanted me to see a counsellor because I've got long-term depression. I've been unemployed for a long time. So I suppose he feels that I need to talk to someone about it all and what's been going on in my life on and off in the last 10 years.
10 years. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. 10 years. What has started all of this with you?
I had a workplace injury with my back. I got hit by a client at work.
Sorry to hear.
Part and parcel of the job. I had a back injury that's put me permanently off work. It's a long-term disc issue. It's given me a lot of trouble over time. And I've been unemployed for 10 years now.
When all this went down with the workplace injury, did the workplace itself take in the consideration of what happened? Did you go through workplace practices and the Fair Work and all of that?
Yeah, went through work cover, but in the industry I worked in, people are replaceable. And if you can't work, they just move you on. And then when other employers hear that you've had an injury, they don't want to touch you because when you're working, you need to be fit. Pre-existing injuries, and with this sort of condition I've got, it's long-term. And it's not something I can go back into that industry ever again.
Are there other injuries you've thought about going into?
Well, not really. My world has been disability all my life. So, I was a support worker all my life until that situation happened. So I haven't really I don't know. I've always wanted to just go back to that sort of work.
Would you consider office work with them?
Well, that's the thing with my back and my lower back. It makes it, sorry, I've got to keep moving at different times because of the way my back hurts
I understand that.
and the way I have to sit or stand or move. And by that, I mean that it can cause a lot of problems. You can't sit for too long in one place. You've got to move around. So an office job, unless the employer was extremely understanding of that, they're not going to want to employ you either. They see it as a productivity problem. If you're moving around all the time and you're in pain all the time, or you've got to get up and move around, they're going to see that as a problem.
Have you sought the medical side of things? Have they got any rehabilitation programs in place for you? Medical medicines, anything like that, that are able to help with this?
I'm on long-term anti-inflammatory, and I have been for a long time. But it's nerve-ending pain, and that sort of thing is not just something that anti-inflammatories work on. It's a long-term pain, and I've been left with a bulge disc.
Physio hasn't worked all for you, or is it only worked in short bursts with all of this?
Short periods of time.
So you know what you can and can't do when it comes to your injury.
To a point.
Yeah, that's understandable. You never know until it happens in some cases. With the variety of jobs out there and what you can attain due to your qualifications, are there any short-term, not job roles, but I mean with work in your hours, short working hours that you could attain?
Well, I don't know. I've tried in the past, work placement, a few hours here, a few hours there. But it's the pain at the end of it. You do a few days somewhere to try and see how you go, and then it's the few days later when you're laying there and you can't move. That gets to me badly.
Yeah.
It's affected me badly.
How in other areas would you say it has affected you?
Well, I don't go anywhere much. I don't socialise very much. I guess in the last number of years, with the way things are, I've started drinking a lot more. It does the pain. I've taken on smoking a lot more, which hasn't helped. I don't know. I don't have a lot of people around me. I only really sort of, I guess, hang with the people that I live in my share house with.
Okay.
And
no
so,
family?
Not really much around me. They don't live close by, so I don't keep in touch that much. When they call, they just sort of go, "Oh, how are you?" and you try to explain to them, but they don't really understand, I guess, because they're not in it. They just don't understand that this isn't just something that you might have one good day and then you'll have 10 bad days. And I know that sounds, it's a bad revolving door.
It is, but at the same time, with an injury such as yours, where it is very touch and go and things are, I understand, I can see it clearly. It's a very uncomfortable thing to be dealing with, and maybe, when was the last time you were assessed by a doctor with medications and scans and all of that? Because it is very helpful to have those scans done?
Well, yeah, it was all redone recently.
Okay.
And because of the way the disc is, and now it's degenerative, so it's not something that's going to really get any better.
Okay.
And because of my age, being 45, I'm in an even worse age bracket for finding work. And this sort of injury, now they're saying on top of my age is playing a factor, not just what happened to me regarding what happened in that work situation. So really in that sense, I'm not in that highly employable category, which doesn't help. You know, I go and see about things and I want to, but I just feel like I've given up most of the time. I don't care much anymore, because why? You go and put all your faith into thinking, I'll try and do this or I'll do that, and you just get slammed every time you go and try and make an effort. So I just don't bother much anymore.
Now we can find ways around that. We can show you the positive outcomes. You know, work may be something you may no longer be able to do. And in saying that, you can request government help. They can help you with those sorts of things.
Well, I am on unemployment, but
Okay.
I'm not on a government pension. They just keep me on unemployment and keep me looking for work and reassess me every few months, and it's like a medical payment, but it's not a full pension. They still expect me to try and look for work, and this has been going on for several years. I'm caught in amongst the system.
Have your doctors put documents forward?
Yep. And Centrelink still keeps saying, I have to look for a job. And now I'm here because I'm at the point where I feel like losing the plot, and I just can't deal with this anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you feel that way. There are better ways around it. Active groups swimming, is that helpful on your back at all? Is that something you're able to do if you joined a swimming program?
Well, I haven't really looked into that at that point. Not that the doctors ever mentioned it, but I have heard swimming's very good for back injuries. So
It is. It really
I suppose I can ask the doctor about that and see if there's any issue.
Well, there are plenty of groups, especially people with injuries and that do take in other people under subsidised fees and everything, and that it is all paid for by the government. Because funding, I can understand for you financially being unemployed for so long and being on limited benefits. What's that like affecting your money situation?
It's crap. I live in a share house with other people when I'd prefer my own space, but I can't afford to have my own place. So as much as they're nice people that I live with, I have to live with other people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we've all been there at some point. I understand the government is clearly at this point in time no help with your funding. There are other group funding things we can look into for you though. Financially, we can get a financial planner, financial aid and support through lifeline groups and community groups that we do set out ways to budget and plan where our money goes, and having any bit of subsidised, anything that can be paid for by our government will be very beneficial and helpful to you if that's something you'd be open to looking into. Yeah. So, in the share house, are there people that are able to help you in the house with all of this going on?
They're nice enough people, but I don't know. I try to just keep to myself. I just go to my room and Sometimes I just lock myself in there for days. I don't know, come out when I smoke a cigarette. I just go back to my room sometimes and take a bottle of wine with me and just drink and sleep. I have my TV in my room. I don't know. I don't have a lot.
It's unfortunate to hear that the sort of what you're turning to in relation to all of this. We can set some goals. Put goals, some plans, look at the resources that we have, and we can work on something for you. Okay, we can get some things in motion. The swimming groups. We can look into local swimming groups. We can look into local disability groups. I understand you've worked in disability, so you yourself, if you look back at past clients in different areas and the different things that they've been in, I'm sure you've got plenty of connections and knowledge of different services that you may actually be available for now.
Well, I don't know what I'm available for now because I feel like I'm in limbo. I'm not on a full pension to qualify for any of that government help. I go to the doctor and I'm on painkillers and I'm caught in between with it all. I don't know what to do anymore.
So you've got your doctor's list and you've got your government list. And then in the middle here, we have all these organisations that you've worked with previously with other clients. Maybe you could take your doctor's list and your government list and reach out to these companies, knowing that you have previous relationships with them, and maybe you'd be able to use that to your benefit, and they may be able to specialise a program for you that can then help in turn get that extra government funding and that extra recognition from your doctor, if that helps.
There's a thought.
Yeah.
There's an idea. That's a good idea.
Because I think that would be beneficial for you in moving forward. And you can bring in this paperwork with me. We can go through it. We can plan out some strategies for you with getting from A to B with the extra support, because there are community services that do come out and help provide you with the extra help that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea to look into.
That's a good plan. And we can work on that plan if you bring in list of doctors, I guess the doctor's notes on where you're at with your body and the government on what your funding is, and we can help make those calls together. That's okay. Your homework for me is to bring all that paperwork in,
okay,
and we can sit down and do that. And your goal is go swimming at least twice this week. Try, even if it's down at the beach or something, getting your body in the water and doing all that would be very beneficial. Okay?
Well, check with the doctor first of what I can do.
Exactly. So make a follow-up with your doctor.
Because maybe hydrotherapy would be better because it's a warm pool.
Yeah. Well, hydrotherapy, once again, that's something we can also look into. And we can make that all work for you. And I hope that these two coming together and in turn helping the middle party help you 2 outer parties can help you. How are you feeling at the end of all of this?
Well, I suppose a bit better than when I first walked in here.
Well, I'm glad to hear.
Yeah. Never thought of it like that. Because it's been 10 years, I've given up. Because it just seems like everyone around me push me from one to the other and I don't get anywhere. So I've given up.
And I'm here to help you. We're going to do this and we're going to utilise all our resources possible to make something that works for you, because you deserve that chance. This is your time. Okay? Thank you for coming in today, and I'll just get you to sign this and that'll be good. Okay, we can get this done. Thank you, Stephanie.